Hey, good morning. It is November 16th, 2025 again, and we're going to go to First Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 56. I'm doing good. I'm saying that up front. All right, everything good begins with God. So say your prayer, renew your mind, which we're taught to do daily. So renew your mind, start off spiritual, especially on a Sunday morning, right? That was a joke. Okay, every day. All right, so we're gonna go to First Corinthians chapter 15, verse 56. I'll read it. The sting of death is sin, and the strength of sin is the law. I went round and round with a certain individual in this one, but that's not where we're going today. So we're gonna kind of talk about really the end of that verse and the strength of sin is the law. Just it kind of goes with the Second Corinthians chapter 5 complex, I'll call it, that may end up being caught on, which I hope it is. So if we take the strength of sin here, it's the law, right? It's clearly said. So next time you decide to do something, right? Do something in your flesh, which is a work, to get forgiven. Remember that this verse, the strength of sin is in our performance. And that's what the law was. The law was a performance system, an if then, right? Bless you, curse you kind of thing, right? Um, so just keep that in mind that the strength of sin is in your performance, and that's contrary to what we should know, and we have to keep our well, I guess we shouldn't. You can keep your adversary in mind and understand that he's going to be super stoked that you're doing this, right? Because when someone thinks that they must go to God to do something, they must go to God to get sins forgiven by some anything, right? That's taking time away from edification. That's taking time away from sharing the gospel. That's taking time away from the Ephesians 2:10, why you were created, why you are his workmanship. You know, you're created in Christ unto good works, right? So just keep that in mind. That's taking precious time away. Um, and I would say this too. Don't some do it by asking for forgiveness. So I'll kind of look at that this as one example. You can acknowledge forgiveness, like they do. Forgiveness of sins is something that we've got to be careful talking about, right? But forgiven, you can acknowledge forgiveness, right? Instead of asking, because that's the exercise. Again, that's the do. So acknowledge it, and I think this is acknowledge is something I've been talking about a whole lot lately. Acknowledge is something that brings it, makes it manifest to you. God already knows it, but it makes it manifest to you. It makes it real to you, and then you can deal and you can turn it to truth, right? And I guess the proper way I would want to say it is it strengthens the inner man. It awakens the inner man, which again God's giving you truth, but it awakens the inner man. It awakens me, and it gives me truth, right? And that's where that Second Corinthians 5 came in, because there was an awakening. There was a truth that I got there in the cross work of Christ, and then from that truth it grows, right? It's I want to call it a spiritual exercise in that sense. So acknowledging helps. Following and continuing in something and not getting into his word and reading itself, that's not strengthening the inner man. It can help, but that acknowledgement of forgiveness and how God does the forgive and the forget is super huge, right? So anyhow, I don't know if that helps, but I think the end of the verse, the strength of sin is the law. Whatever you want to take from this, whatever you do in the flesh, just make sure you know that's where the strength of sin can be. Doesn't mean you shouldn't go share the gospel and all that stuff. That's not the point. So hopefully you got the point from this. Grace, peace, and love.